Hi, I'm Lauren.
And I'm Kristýna.
And this is our podcast, Let's Chew the Fat.
Okay, hello.
Hi.
We're trying to have energy for this episode because we don't have any right now.
Yes, for content. See, there we go. For context, we are exhausted. So if we say anything and you're like, that doesn't really add up, that doesn't really make sense.
Might happen.
We apologize.
We're exhausted.
Yeah. But for today's episode, we're going to talk about the future and specifically the uncertainty of it and the stress and fear, but also the excitement that comes with that. And as always, let's look back at this week. We're on a bit of a weird recording schedule here because Kristýna's going on a bunch of trips. We were just in Barcelona. So today's actually Tuesday. And we're just going to try to make it work.
Yeah, because we didn't want to miss any episodes.
Yeah.
So we're going to record the next one in 2 days, actually. But we're going to save talking about Barcelona for that episode because we have a lot to talk about anyways. So it should be fine. It should work out.
Don't worry, guys.
Don't worry. So we should start with the SYML concert.
Right.
Which was amazing. I think one of us found it and we were like, ooh, let's go. And then we asked the girls in the group chat if they want to join. And
everyone did.
Everyone did. And we went together. And it was just such a nice concert once again. But I think this time for me, it was so special because Brian, as we know his name, the lead singer, he was interacting with the audience, but in a way he was like, ooh, anybody has any questions, so then the audience started talking to him one-on-one. We started asking questions. So that was really nice. I haven't seen anybody do it, honestly.
It felt very personal and not very much like he was a celebrity.
Exactly,
and we were just all
exactly.
There. It was also a very small venue, which helped a lot. And yeah, it was a very unique experience in that sense.
And then he took my BeReal picture, which I got an idea when he said if anybody has any questions. I was like, oh, maybe I could ask him to take my BeReal. And literally the second I wanted to ask, other girl shouted, I guess, from the audience.
Yeah.
She was like, will you take my BeReal? And I was like, no.
Kristýna's world collapsed.
No, it did because, I was nervous, but I was like, I can do this. I will do this. I will ask. It'll be the best thing in the world. And then she asked, and then I was like, well, I can't ask again because it's going to be oh, she asked, so now I'm going to ask.
Yeah, everybody wants to turn.
Exactly.
But you did.
But I did because you guys forced me, which I was super grateful for in the end. And I was like, I know the girl asked you, but I was just about to ask as well. Please, can you take it? I was like, yeah.
And it's a great picture.
Yeah.
We can post it in the photo dump, right?
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
You guys can see it.
And so in this way, for me, the concert was really special. What were other questions people asked him?
When is he going to come to this place to perform? What's his favorite song? I think Laura asked that. Stuff like that. I can't remember anything else.
I can't remember. And then Sunday morning, we had something else planned, which was watching the Lewis Capaldi documentary, which I wanted to watch since the moment it came out. I was like, I can't because we want to watch it together.
Yeah, we had this planned. In the end, the idea was to turn it into a movie night type of thing. But we don't have time. We have things going on. It's very stressful. So in the end, it was actually pretty funny because we went to the concert. So we were together until midnight. And then Sophia even stayed over. And the next morning at 9 a.m., everybody was back. And we watched a documentary. And it was a great documentary. But I guess we can talk more about that in the last part.
In the last part, that's true.
And then I also, my dad and I were invited by a friend of my dad's to have a lunch, which was incredible. It was, I don't know, I wasn't expecting anything, but it exceeded all of my expectations. That was contradictory. Well, whatever. It was a great meal, this beautiful salad. There was soup as a starter. There was dessert strawberry with ice cream. It was a whole 4-course menu, and it was very nice. And it was a Spanish lunch, as in we met up at 2:30 and I got home at 9 in the evening. But it was super nice.
God. That's great.
Yeah. What did you do?
I can't remember. You know, time these days.
It feels like ages ago.
I know, but I can't remember. I
feel like technically, I feel like you did something.
Maybe something to school.
Yeah.
Maybe
or
I
like
was
some
working
organization thing.
Online journalism article.
Yeah, maybe.
And then research methods.
Yeah.
Maybe I was working on these. Just projects for university. And then Monday, we went to another concert, which was Birdy's concert, which was obviously, again, very nice. We had to skip a class because of that.
Yeah. And that's true.
But we didn't miss anything.
No, not at all. It was worth it. And we were like, that was again like not a big venue, so we wanted to try to be at least a little bit in the front. That's why we decided to go a bit earlier, and we also wanted to see the opening act, who I am now obsessed with.
That's true.
Yeah,
that's true.
And she was really good.
What's her name?
Farga, I think
so.
And she performed like her whole EP, like with a whole storyline. It was great. And Birdy obviously was amazing. It was like, felt like a really, this is going to sound negative, not as in like a long concert, oh, I wanted it to end, but she performed a lot of songs. But you were actually pointing out that you think it, like she interacted less with the audience and she didn't really.
No, she almost didn't interact.
Yeah.
She didn't even speak a lot, I don't think. She just always like thanked after every song. And I think my theory is that they obviously, if an artist is doing a show or something, they probably have like a time limit to do it because they have staff, you know, they have to pay them, stuff like that. So I think they had the limit, and she really wanted to just like play as many songs as possible, because I think with the SYML concert, I think he might have like skipped 1 or 2 songs, because he did say like, oh, we're behind or something like with time. And then I saw him talking to like the others, like whispering, and maybe they said, okay, let's skip this one or something like that, you know? So I think Birdy just wanted to like play as many songs as possible, because I think she did end at like 10:30. I don't want to say sharp, but like very, you know,
punctual. And she performed a lot of songs. Like, she performed all the like hits, I would say, a lot of like the older ones too, but she also performed a good amount of newer songs and even like unreleased songs from her new album,
which I think the newly released song was like the day after her concert in Madrid, and then the album I think is coming out in July, something like that.
I think so.
I don't remember, something like that. So she played a couple of new songs from that, so it was super good, super cool. Nice. But it was like a different vibe because, like we said, she didn't interact with the audience. But what was really cool is that like the podium,
the stage
was elevated, so even like people further back were able to still see her and see everything. One thing I would point out that the team that was setting the stage up should have done better is when she sat down to play on the piano, they should have removed the, what is it called, mic stand?
The mic stand.
Because when she sat down, the piano was like further back on the stage, and then the mic stand was in the front when she was standing
literally right in front of her.
Exactly. Almost from every single angle. Like, I looked at other people's
me too.
It was like in every video.
And I saw even like stories that she reposted of like people that have posted like videos of the performance on Instagram story. Like, they were from different angles, and all of them had that freaking mic. And I was like, if I were her, I would have been so annoyed about that, because she sat at the piano for a long time.
So that was the only thing. But I mean,
also, if you were in the first row, the high stage, not great.
True. I think we had the perfect spot, to be honest, because we saw the whole stage. We were close enough, good angle, besides the mic stand. So we enjoyed it. And anything else? I did body cross. Oh, I had a summer job interview for being an instructor at summer camps, which I think, I mean, now I know it went really well because I got the job. And then on Thursday in the morning, I went to bureaucracy place. I don't know. I never know what they're called. Like an office of some sort from
Spanish
the government.
Yeah.
Because I needed to get like to be able to sign documents through the internet and not like physically.
Yeah.
So I needed to get that because of Erasmus. And when I went there, you know, I was like, it's going to take some time because we had classes from 12:30. So I went early in the morning and I was in and out in 10 minutes. This was the fastest bureaucratic thing I've ever done in Spain.
Highly recommend.
So shocked. They even took me in like 5 minutes early because obviously I was there earlier, and I don't know. It was just, I was like, wow.
Like even, I mean, the application, you spent a long time kind of doing that in class, but still I felt like compared to other stuff, like you got an appointment pretty soon.
Yeah.
Like, you know, it was a pretty smooth process.
Yeah. But all in all, the last week was stressful because I had to fit so many of these, like, even little things in this. I also had to, like, go to the grocery store to buy something to make crepes to go to Barcelona and, like, a sandwich so I would have food. I wouldn't be hungry and stuff like that. I was like, when am I going to do everything?
No, because the thing is, as we mentioned before, we went to Barcelona Friday through until, like, basically Sunday night. And so we were trying to get like as much stuff done as possible. For that, we had certain assignments that we did have to get done before that because of when their deadlines were. So all in all, quite stressful. But it's fine. We made it through another one.
Now we just have to make it through. I think we have just
have to continue making it.
Yeah. I think we have 2 weeks left of classes.
After this, there's 2.
Okay. But I mean, next week we only have 2 days of class and stuff like that. So it's crazy. It's coming to it. And I'm like completely forgetting about exams. I'm so focused.
Me too.
On the projects and everything. And I'm kind of starting to freak out because yesterday in class, I didn't pay attention at all. And he was always like, this is like probably an exam question. He said like 3 times. And I was like, you know, I haven't been listening or I don't know the answer to that question. I'm like...
No, because I think we have so many projects and so many deadlines with that in my head, I'm just like, I have to make it through that. But then I don't think about what's afterwards. So I'm going to be shocked when it's not summer vacation after we hand in the last project. I'm going to be shocked.
Because you know what? I think what I'm quote unquote not scared of, but you know, it's that like the time after we finish all these projects is going to slow down. And the last like 2 to 3 weeks of university is gonna be so long, and it's gonna, I feel like...
You think so?
I don't know, because like now the time is going by so fast.
Because we need the time and we don't have enough time.
Exactly. And like every day we have so many things planned, and so like because of that it's all going by really fast. I have my trips, so you know.
Yeah.
And then after that we have to have all these projects finished, and we have a week to study basically, where we won't be going to school. I think the time will be really slow, and I'm dragging that. No,
dreading it, because you know, because then you're sitting at home, like in an apartment, and you're like, oh, I wish this was over, but you have to study. Yeah, that's
I just
true.
hope the exams this semester aren't as horrible as
I don't think they will be.
Okay,
if we made it through like derecho, statistics, economics, we can make it through these.
Okay, I trust you on that.
Wow. It's a lot of pressure.
All right.
That was it.
So let's get into the main topic, which is... basically, I'm just going to say it as we wrote it down, stress about the future. I don't remember the exact moment where we were like, oh, this would be a good episode, because I remember we were like talking about something good. I don't even know how to explain this. But I just can't remember the conversation, so I don't know where to start. So if you want to start, go ahead.
Just for context, I also don't remember the conversation. I'm just gonna,
you know, I just feel like it happened in the hallway, but that's all I got.
Oh, that's true. I feel like I was standing in a door frame.
You know what? I think it was connected to our high school final exam that we call Maturita in German and in Czech as well. And I think we were like, you know, we were so scared of this and it felt impossible. And in the end, we did it. And now we look at it as, you know, like we did it. Like we don't see it as this huge thing, huge, scary, unreachable thing that we thought it was like before we took the exam. So I think that's kind of where it originated.
Yeah. And this reminds me of something else that we were talking about recently, which was like, I don't remember how it came about, but I was saying that 95% of the things I worry about or I stress about are like the future and have not happened. And that like as soon as you actually get to that future, even if the thing that you were so scared of actually happens, in the moment, you're calmer than you were before that. If that makes any sense.
Yeah. Oh, true. I remember.
Yeah, like I was saying, like I get so stressed out about things that could happen, that might happen, even that will happen. And when they actually do happen, I'm pretty calm and I handle it pretty well.
Yeah. I mean, there's probably like the initial shock.
Yeah.
But the thing is, your adrenaline, the like critical thinking maybe, or like, you know, kicks in. And in that moment, you know, you like it's happening and you just have to deal with it.
You got no other choice. And I feel like the reason why it's even more stressful to worry about the future when it's not actually like happening yet is because you can't do anything about it. Like you can't control the situation yet. But then when it does happen, you can actually actively like take steps to like mend it.
Yeah, because before, when you're scared before it actually happens, you're also imagining like multiple scenarios. And so you're trying to come up with a solution for all of them. And I think that's like overwhelming. And you're like, oh, this would suck. Oh, this would be frustrating. But once you're actually in it and you know what is happening and like the actual scenario is playing out, you can deal with that and not like all of the scenarios, you know?
Yeah.
Like, for example, when I got sick, when I was supposed to go to Malaga, I mean, this time, to be honest, it didn't even cross my mind, I guess. But like once I was in it, maybe like the day before when I actually got sick, I was like, what am I going to do? Am I going to go? Am I going to stay? And I was trying to deal with that. But once I was like, okay, I'm not going to go, I was able to get like partial
refund.
And now I'm just going to deal with it. I'm going to stay in bed. I'm going to wait until I get better and get healthy again. And that's the solution. And like I made peace with it and I was fine. But if I was thinking about it like 2 weeks prior, I'd be so stressed. I would be like, what if I get sick? What if a crazy assignment comes up, all of a sudden, you know, like these things, and it would stress me. Oh, I mean, technically I was like dealing with working because I was supposed to also work that weekend. And I was like, how am I going to do it? Am I going to stay in Malaga the first day, blah, blah, blah. So in the end, it just worked out somehow. Yeah. Like I was sick, but I got better for the 2 days I was working. So then I worked and I got worse again, you know? So I guess it just like somehow it always plays out. But I mean, I say it like this, like I'm so smart and I know stuff, but I always stress about things.
Yeah.
You know how I told you about the phone call with my younger sister where she was stressing about some random thing. And I was like, don't stress about it until it actually happens, because she was coming home from school and her mom, our mom, she was in her school for some like meeting with professors and stuff like that. And for some reason, my sister was scared that her mom, that our mom is going to be mad for something. I don't know. And I was like, calm down. Like, you didn't do anything. Like, why are you scared? Just go home and see what her mood is. And she was like, you're the one saying this. And she said something like, you're the master of worrying about stuff not even happening. I was like, I know, learn from my mistakes.
Honestly. Yeah, I think related to that, we were also talking about like how we're scared that if we don't worry, like it'll go bad. Like as in the worrying kind of prepares us for the situation, and worrying makes it less likely that will actually happen, if that makes any sense at all. And I do that all the time where I will be maybe a little bit more relaxed about a situation than I usually would be. And then that worries me, because then I'm like, oh no, but now I haven't mentally prepared myself for that situation happening. I haven't mentally prepared myself for the crisis, so like to put it that way. Or I think, oh, I'm not worried, so it's more likely to go wrong. If that makes any sense at all.
I think it's such like toxic thinking. And also what is it called? Like the vicious cycle. Because like you said, if I am stressed about something, I'm stressed and I'm worried. I make up these scenarios. But if I'm not stressed, I'm like, maybe I should be stressed. Because every time I stress, or sometimes like when I don't stress about, for example, an upcoming exam, I fail. And so I'm like, I should be stressing.
Exactly.
I should be worried, because that somehow in my mind says that I'm going to pass, that it's some kind of a guarantee.
And that I'm taking it seriously enough and I'm preparing enough for it. Like when I'm not stressed, I feel like I'm not putting enough effort into it, which doesn't make sense, because the action of being stressed isn't like the action of studying, to put it that way. But somehow it still feels like I'm preparing for it somehow.
I think with studying, the stressing helps in the sense where maybe not, maybe with some people, even not, maybe not even with myself, but like that it forces you to actually go and study and try to study in the best way. But I don't know if that pressure maybe like makes our brain a little bit weaker, and we don't actually absorb information well.
Also for me, sometimes like it just completely like blocks me.
That's true. If it gets too much.
Like sometimes I'm so stressed out about something that I cannot physically get myself to do it. Or like if I have to write an essay and I feel like I'm not capable of writing a good essay, I will be so terrified of starting it that it will lead to procrastination for me.
True. That's true. Yeah, where I'm like, I might be even like sitting and maybe being on my phone, and like in my head, I'm like, you need to study, you need to study, you need to get up, you need to study. But I'm just like sitting and like just hearing it, but ignoring it and not being able to do anything about it.
Yeah.
That's true. I mean, we got a little bit to a different topic, which we also want to talk about in the future. But I don't know. I think it might be really good to like talk about it to a therapist, like about this like toxic thinking, because I don't know how to fix it.
No. No.
Because like I said, there's only like two sides, and the first one is either I stress
or I stress about not stressing.
Exactly. It happened, like this exactly happened with the upcoming exams, where I am completely forgetting about them, and I was like, I'm not stressed about them at all. And like the exams start in a month and a half, but
the exams start in a month and a half.
Should I be stressing out?
Kristýna, which exams start in a month and a half? We have a month and a half? We don't.
It's 2 weeks.
It's 2 weeks.
No.
I was like, in a month and a half? I'm on vacation. I don't know what you're doing.
No.
I'm glad we captured.
We keep saying today, our brain is not braining.
Our brains are not braining, no.
What? I was thinking about it in my mind, and I was calculating. I don't know how I calculated it, because we don't even have, like in a month and a half, I'm going to be home.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, Kristýna, that's like June.
Oh my God.
Well, there we go.
2 weeks. This is insane. Okay, calm down. We're good. Good. I think I was just confused because we've been so focused on the project.
Because we have to be.
And I just completely blocked it out. Everything seemed... Today is Tuesday?
Yeah.
No, my birthday's next week, right?
Yeah.
I was like, is my birthday? See, I don't understand time. It's just the
things
weird
are
vacuum.
going well. No, Kristýna, this Friday you're in Valencia.
Okay, I can't.
And on your
forget.
birthday you're gonna be in Madrid.
Okay.
So if you're not in Madrid, it's not your birthday.
Okay. But back to the topic.
Right.
It's a little detour.
And I feel like, or do you want to say something?
No, go ahead.
I feel like you can take this concept and put it on like a larger scale, where, as we mentioned with high school, like I was terrified of what was going to happen after high school, of what was going to happen.
True.
I was terrified about the exams, but I was equally as terrified for the phase after the exams. And I feel like that taught me, I mean, I'm still not, it taught me, I'm still learning, okay?
Yeah.
It taught me something that I'm technically aware of, but I'm not implementing, which is that in the end, it's fine. Like, if you have this like uncertainty about the future, it's scary because it's unknown. And it's scary because you're still kind of far away from it. But I feel like as soon as you like reach the day when you can actually start making plans for that time, when you can start taking like the next step forward, then you'll be fine. Mm-hmm. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like right now, the phase after, oh my God, where are we at? University. The phase after university is terrifying. Mm-hmm. Because for me, it's just like this blank hole of nothing. Because I really don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know, like, am I going to study more? Am I going to take a gap year? Am I going to...
Which country are we going to be in?
Which country are we going to be in? Like, we know nothing. And that is terrifying. Mm-hmm. But once we actually approach that time, then we can start looking into options, signing up for stuff. And in the end, I don't think it will be that scary.
A little bit more again.
Exactly.
We'll be at a different point. We'll probably even have like maybe some contacts.
Yeah.
Also like some like projects done, you know, maybe like if we do the internships,
right.
you know, things like that. And also I remembered with this, it's very weird, especially life after university, because we talked about this weekend. We got to a conversation where we were like, when we want to like if we want to have kids, what age, blah, blah, blah. And then I said, because Sophia said that she wants to start having kids maybe at 30, 32. And I was like, I want to be done at that point with kids. But then I started thinking about, I used to want, it wasn't like my plan, but I was like, if I could choose, I would start having kids at maybe like 24. But the thing is, next week I'm going to be 21. And that's 3 years away from that.
Yeah.
And it just seems so weird to me because I don't even have a partner who I could have kids with. And like, especially with that like romantic like relationships, I want to have experiences before, you know, just so you know if it's right, if not, you know, like all
before
these
you
things.
have a kid.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I want to know what I want from a relationship, and I want to have a stable relationship, also like be financially stable, things like that. And that's 3 years from that. But what I also realized while talking about it lately is I am not scared. You know, I'm just like, yeah.
Of what?
Like I'm not stressing about I should be at some other point, because like if I want to have kids in 3 years, I'm just like taking it as it is and be like, okay, maybe that's not gonna happen, that's not supposed to happen, maybe it's gonna be later, maybe it's completely gonna be differently, but that's fine. And maybe that means that I'm getting better about not stressing out, or if it means that it also seems very like something
too distant to worry about.
Yeah.
No, I feel like I've gotten a lot better at that in like the past maybe 2 years, honestly, because I feel like I used to be so worried about by what time I had to do what and which milestones I had to achieve when, and even just about having like a strict plan of this is what I want to do, this is the goal I want to reach by this age. And I was always so jealous of everybody who had like this big dream or this big goal or this big career that they were trying to chase. Like they were like, I know I want to be a teacher and I will do everything to become a teacher. I know I want to be a doctor and I will do everything that it takes to become a doctor. Mm-hmm. And I was always like, I'm so jealous of that. Like having this passion for something and knowing exactly like where to go. Like, because that way you always know your next step. Mm-hmm. You know, okay, now I did this degree. The next step is to do this internship. Then I need to do the master's. You know, you have like this basically staircase up to where you want to go. And I never had that. I was always like, oh, I kind of like this, I kind of like that. So everything always seemed very like uncertain and vague, and that used to stress me out a lot. But I feel like within the past years, I've gotten really good at seeing the positives in that uncertainty, because I feel like it allows me to look into more things, experience more things, and like kind of find my own path by doing more stuff than just going through this like straight road straight to the goal at the end of it. And I feel like I've also just learned that like once one thing ends, there will inevitably be another thing. I feel like as long as you don't stand still, as in like you let the fear of the uncertainty and the fear of the moment like paralyze you, as long as you don't stand still and just like do a next thing, you'll be fine.
That's true, because when I was in high school, like you get used to that life, that routine. Even like here in university, always like ending semester and having a new one, it scares me because I'm like, I already got used to the teachers, the schedule, the routine. I know what awaits me. I know what I have to do in order like to pass, you know, these assignments, projects, exams, blah, blah, blah. And then again, now I'm like, we're ending the semester. Like, what's coming? Like, what if the teachers are horrible? What if the classes are horrible?
The schedule is horrible.
Exactly. So I guess you're used to even like the people, you know, in high school, you have your friends, you're used to doing certain things. You're kind of comfortable in it, you know, because you've also been doing it for some time. And then all of a sudden, first you have to pass this bar, which is like the exam, because if you don't do it, you can't like go to the next step. And then there's this like whole, what am I going to study? Which school am I going to go to? Maybe some people question which country, you know, and things like that. So like, it's so scary. But again, now, but I guess it makes sense, you know, once you actually do it, you know that you did it. So you're like, oh, it was easy, which I mean, it wasn't, obviously.
It wasn't, but you managed.
Like with Maturita, the final high school exam, like I remember specifically like talking to my dad, I guess in middle school, and I was always like, I'm never going to be able to do that, ever.
I couldn't see past it.
No.
Like for me, it was just this thing, I couldn't see past it.
Exactly. And he was always like, you know, so many people do it every year. Like, why couldn't you? And I was like, I don't know. I just don't know. So I was so scared. And the period of time where I had to study, like, it was really hard, especially in COVID, because we were home. We were basically home for the whole senior year of high school. And so you had to be really, like, productive and force yourself.
Right.
And because we didn't even have a lot of classes left, because I think it's like very usual that from, I guess, January, February, you don't take classes, which you don't take the exam from. I don't know if this makes sense. If
that makes sense.
Well, so you have a lot of like quote unquote free time, so you have to force yourself to study. And so it was a very difficult point in life, but I did it. And in the end, I was so proud of myself, and I was kind of happy that I was forced to do it, because I quote unquote like proved myself that I could do it. And like, it was like a nice passing point. I was like, yes, I did this. Now like time for the next level, which was scary, because I was like, university students, they're so mature, they're so old. So, you know, and I'm like, I am that people.
Yeah.
You know?
It still blows my mind.
Yeah.
Do you have like a vision? Like how far along do you have like a vision for your life?
Honestly, at this point, a year.
Okay.
Which is up until Erasmus. Like after Erasmus. Because even the fourth year of university, I know there's going to be the fin de grado trabajo, which is, what is it called in English? Final thesis? Bachelor thesis. And that, again, scares the hell out of me, because I did it in high school. It's just a very, you know, vague, I don't know what topic, I'm going to blah, blah, blah. And I also don't know what's going to be happening in the fourth year, because I think we're going to be like thinking about, do we do masters? Do we apply for a job?
A lot of decisions.
Exactly. So like up until that point, I see things. I see I'm going to be hopefully on Erasmus if we can get our learning agreement done, which is a huge another problem. But in the future, honestly, I think it will really depend on my next, like, I think that for some reason, I'm feeling that this summer is going to be like
impactful.
Yeah. Like on my maybe future career. because I really want to like focus on some.
I'm getting so excited right now about life after university. So
right?
Yeah.
I was gonna say that like we used to be so scared about like the life after, but I think because we've been talking about this lately a lot, and like even with like other people, that we're entering the stage of life where like some people are getting married, some people already have kids, like our age, and we're entering like the basically like finishing the high school teenager era, and we're moving into like young
anything
adult.
is possible, kind of.
But like I said, it doesn't scare me. How far do you see?
No, I was asking the question because like I never looked past university. I don't think so. Like, because that was always my goal, and it was always kind of my goal, like the big goal of studying abroad. Like that was always my thing.
That's true.
And that's why I wanted to go to like high school, like gymnasium, because in Switzerland you don't, it's not mandatory, but that's why I wanted to do that. So for me, like once I got to university, I was like, wait a second, this is it. Like this is all I've worked for my entire life. So, and it kind of like took me aback. I was like, and now I need to find something new. So that's why I was asking. But for me, yeah, I think I agree. Like I have the next semester here and then the semester abroad, which we're kind of working towards, which is why for me, it's very like vivid in my mind. And then the year after that, kind of a little bit, but I just have a feeling it's going to be different to what we've done the previous years. So it's not so clear.
We might also, in the fourth year, we might also have like different classes than the rest of our friends.
Right,
or even the two of us.
So it's going to be a whole
Big,
new experience.
Because of Erasmus or like the exchange thingy.
Yeah, or even because we have a lot of like
electives.
True, yeah.
True.
So it's going to be different, I think. But I feel like, honestly, within like the past month or two was the first time where I actually like started feeling like excited about what we're going to do after. I don't know if it was because like I think we talked about your writing stuff or anything or something like that. And that was the first time where like it was more excitement than fear for me personally. Okay. And that made me really happy.
Yeah. I think it's also because what I see in my head is kind of these like 2 to 3, what will I call it? Maybe periods in life where the first one is basically up until the end of high school, where you go from a kid to a teenager. You technically usually don't have that many like serious responsibilities. You're just focused on you're maybe like extracurricular activities, friends, spending time with your friends. And then like the next period is this like entering the working world, like also with the first period, it's like a lot of like school. And like you said, like with us, it was the end goal was to study abroad,
right.
Go to university. And now this next stage is kind of like leaving that school life and getting into the working life. Also people or like the maybe marriage and like relationships and kids and getting maybe your house and stuff like that, And then I think like the third period, like being, what's it called? Like retired. Yeah. And like that, but that is extremely like far. I can't imagine.
No.
I don't even know what people do. So I think that's why I haven't thought about like looking that forward, because like we're entering this technically like new era and it's all new and like I don't know anything.
Do you feel a lot of like a societal pressure for when you think about what you're gonna do with the next couple of years?
Honestly, no. I think my mindset, it's just do what you want. And I think it's because I have a lot of support from my family, so I don't feel
anything outside of that you don't really care about.
Yeah. I think lately these last couple of years, I've really learned to not care what people think. I mean, obviously sometimes it's very hard, especially like from people close to or like, but like this general like society standard where it's like at 25 have to have kids or career done, blah, blah, blah. I don't care about that.
Yeah.
You?
No, I agree.
Okay.
it's funny because like in every other like aspect of my life, I really care about what people think and like I want to make them happy. But like in this regard, I don't think I've ever cared about it. And I continue not to care about it. Like for me, it's like life is such a big thing. And at the end of the day, every decision that you make, you will have the direct effects of it. Not anybody else who might be like,
very good point.
Yeah, who might be like, oh, you shouldn't do that because this and this. They're not going to be the ones sitting in their room at home, like suffering through their life. So I really could care less. Like, obviously, I will take certain, like, I will be there to like support people and everything. Like, I don't want to be like completely like selfish because like I feel like at the end of the day, life is also about the community that you have around yourself. But in terms of like the important decisions, like yeah, like when I get married or like if I get married or any career choice like that, I could care less.
That's a really good point. I was gonna say something and then I forgot again. Ooh, I know. Because I really don't know like what's gonna be in my future, like career-wise and other stuff-wise. Because like today, I came up with an idea for like a business, you know?
Right.
But I'm like, do I want to do that? Because it's like if I would want to do something like this, like I would have to really like immerse myself in it. Because I mean, it's even who I am. Like if I want to do something, I want to do it like fully.
You have to dedicate yourself
exactly
to it.
And then I'm like, you know, it's like this opportunity and like option that I could take. And I'm like thinking about like, do I want to use this opportunity? Do I want to take this option route or not?
There's just so many things. I feel like the biggest, like if I had to name the biggest worry about the future, it's that I won't be able to do everything I want to do. I think that's because like certain things that you like want to explore require dedication and your full dedication, as you said. So that means you can't really do anything else. And I don't think I have enough time to like give my full dedication to as many things as I want. So I feel like that's my biggest like stress point about the future. Like with this, if you start a business, I mean, that's a responsibility. You dedicate yourself to it. I don't know.
But I think that if we're like aware of this so early and we already are doing things that are on like bucket list or to-do list, you know, studying abroad, making new friends, writing a book, you know, like I'm already trying to like get to these points and we are aware of like, we know maybe our goals, some ambitions and things like that. And I think we're already like trying to do those things. So I think if we know, I think we're going to be fine. Obviously you can't do every single thing in the world you can do, but like out of the ones you want, I think if you're aware of that and if you want to go get these things or do it, I think we can do it. And I think we will have enough time, you know, at least like with the big stuff that's like important to us or impactful.
Yeah.
And then you have time for some little stuff as well.
Yeah,
you know?
I guess so. I
think so. And maybe to end this episode, I was thinking about a quote that I've had written in my phone, probably even my like diaries or some like notebooks that I had when I was younger. And it says, it seems impossible until it's done. I don't know where I got it from. Maybe, honestly, I wrote it myself. Who knows? No, but I think I might have. I don't know. And it's so like good because it's so true. And I've always like, I try to apply it to my life. I'm like, every time I did this. I was so scared. And then I did it.
Yeah.
You know?
Because it applies to a lot of things in life, like small ones, like small things, even like tiny things, like going to take an exam and not failing, you know? Or big things like, I don't know, like starting a new job or moving abroad. Yeah.
Exactly. Why do I always forget? Book club. Book club. I always, because I'm always ready for the song and I forget. So, book club. Do you have anything to add with books?
I did not read a single word. Thank you very much. No. Absolutely not. It's really sad. I even took the book.
Like, absolutely not.
Absolutely not. I took the book everywhere. I took the book to Barcelona. It was in my suitcase. I did not read.
What book are you reading now? The new one with
Happy Hour.
The beautiful
the one with that beautiful cover.
Which I told you need to bring.
Yeah, once I finish it. Yeah. What about you?
I think I talked about the last book I finished in the last episode, and now I'm reading Catcher in the Rye by a person who I forgot their name. Who wrote it? It's a classic. Is it J.D. Salinger? Okay. And I really like it. You know, I was a bit scared because I was traumatized from Wuthering Heights. Because I also read this book in high school because we had it in a canon, and it was actually one of the ones I really liked. I think it was also one of the first ones I read. And so I decided to read it in an original. And I was so scared that it's going to happen again. I'm not going to understand it, but it's completely fine. Okay. Because he's writing it from like a point of view of, how old is he? A 16-year-old, something like that. So it's a like simple language, but honestly it's hilarious because he uses a lot of like that killed me in a sense where it's like funny or like, you know, he talked about, I highlighted the whole, can I read it maybe? Sure. A passage, right?
Passage, as they say in English.
Oh, here it is. One time in this movie, Jane did something that just about knocked me out. The newsreel was on or something, and all of a sudden I felt this hand on the back of my neck, and it was Jane's. It was a funny thing to do. I mean, she was quite young and all, and most girls, if you see them putting their hand on the back of somebody's neck, they're around 25 or 30, and usually they're doing it to their husband or their little kid. I do it to my kid's sister Phoebe once in a while, for instance. But if a girl is quite young and all she does... I can't read. But if a girl is quite young and all and she does, it's so pretty. Just about... I'm so sorry. My brain is not braining. Okay, the last sentence again. I feel like I ruined it.
No.
Okay.
We can edit.
But if a girl's quite young and all and she does it, it's so pretty, it just about kills you. And he uses like it just about kills you all the time. And he also uses like that little hand, like the word.
It's
that
a really funny way of speaking.
Yeah, and I really love that. So I'm really enjoying this book. I'm about halfway through almost.
Did you read in Barcelona?
On our way there for a little bit.
Oh.
And on the train, but like there we didn't have time because we went to bed late. And then on our way back, we were tired, we were sleeping, so no. But I hope you loved my little excerpt from the book. I'm sorry, my reading is horrible. I really tried. But I'm really liking this book, so I'm really happy. I'm highlighting stuff, you know. So I'm enjoying that. And do you want to talk about a little bit about the Lewis Capaldi documentary?
We watched the Lewis Capaldi documentary, which we were worried it was only going to be 45 minutes, but it in fact was longer, which was a positive surprise.
It in fact was longer. It was.
And I loved it. I really did. I mean, it was very like a heavy topic, I feel like, but I mean, he's hilarious. And I feel like they kept a lot of his like joke and humor in it to like lighten it up a little bit, but at the same time, it didn't take away from the topic, obviously. I love the way it was done. I love the way they chose, I feel like, a couple of key songs from his newest album and added those to kind of tell the story. Like, they added them at different phases of the songwriting, of the production, and in places where it made sense with the story that they were telling. And I feel like that added a lot to it. And now I'm super excited for the album, of course. And I love it. I feel like it was very interesting because like none of us had any clue that was going on at all. And but it makes a lot of sense, because it's a lot about like the pressure you feel after having one very successful album to create an album that is even better than that. Yeah. And when we were all like talking about it, well, it makes a lot of sense, but somehow I never really thought about it that much.
And the thing is, I never noticed his tics or the fact that he could have Tourette's, because I don't know, he for sure had it when I saw him at the first concert, because I remember, I think that was his first tour, and they did talk about it there, or they even had clips from there, no, but not Prague, but other countries and cities. But I guess I just didn't notice. And then obviously maybe on TikTok and Instagram, he just like, it's a short video. He's also not like under stress in that moment, I guess, I suppose. So
I feel like at your tour, it might have been just less extreme because it got really, really bad when he was under a lot of pressure and very stressed out. And I feel like that's mostly what they showed in the show. Yeah. But I guess with you, it was just like little things.
Yeah, but it was really interesting to watch. And we're so excited for his new album.
And the tour. Please put out the venue. This is a message to Lewis Capaldi and his team. If anybody is listening, please announce the venue that it's going to be in Madrid so we can buy tickets.
Yeah. Rebuy tickets.
Rebuy tickets. Thank you very much.
All right. And now let's move on to Song of the Week. Wow. That was really nice.
Yeah, well done.
Okay. You want to start?
Okay. So, okay, funny story.
Yeah, please say that.
When we were setting up to record, Kristýna was like, because we're using my phone to record this podcast, like the video recording of it. And she was like, do you want to write down your song of the week real quick? As in, you know, like, I think you meant it as in going through Spotify and quickly, like, looking at the songs so I knew which one I was going to talk about. Right. And I interpreted as, do you want to take a piece of paper and write down the song so you don't forget it? And I was like, I mean, could I not just... She kept saying, like, do you want to write it down? Do you want to write it down? And I was like, can I not just have it in my head? And she was like, yeah. And she was like, no, I didn't mean that. And I was like, I mean, my memory is not that bad, Kristýna. As a joke. Well, about 20 minutes into the recording of this episode, I was sitting there listening to Kristýna speak, and all of a sudden it hit me that I did, in fact, not remember the song that I wanted to mention as Song of the Week. I still, at this point in time, do not remember the song that I wanted to mention.
I'm just so excited for you to then go on your phone and see. And you're going to be like, oh, I'm so stupid.
Yes, I might mention it on Thursday. But so I changed songs. And now my Song of the Week is Duerme Vela by Farga, who we saw as the opening act for Birdy. So I love it, can't explain it. The chorus, it's just a mírame, mírame, mírame. Love it. Obsessed with it. Go check it out. That's it.
Okay. My song of the week, I've decided I had to. I'm going to also keep one for Thursday, is Silhouette from Birdy, because I don't think I knew that song before
the concert,
because I was listening to her a lot to get to know the songs and lyrics, and I discovered it. I'm in love with it. I think I listened to it every day when I was sick, and I'm obsessed with this song. So she didn't play it in the concert though, which I was really sad about. But I mean, she played a bunch of.
She tried her best. Songs. Yeah,
exactly. So these were songs of the week. Now for the fun game part. The last songs we had. Do I have a screenshot? I did. Wait, I have to go through all of the Barcelona content. Wait, got it. I had Was Losing Someone Feels Like, and you had You Are Good to Me, right?
Yep.
Okay. And I won just by 52%. I also think it was I think I was winning. Then it was a tie for a long time. And I think like right at the end, I got like
who was
a couple of extra votes. You're like, who was it?
I just want to talk.
I don't know. I have no idea. Okay. So mine was 52%, Lauren's 48%. So it's nothing crazy. I'm curious if one day somebody will win like with a big, you know.
Oh, true. Like, well, I feel bad for whatever song.
Oh my God, true. Okay, sad. So I got an idea what you could do. We could even, this weekend our friends were also like, you should speak more Spanish. You speak Spanish well. Oh, you have a good accent. So now we will put our Spanish to the test.
I am quite frankly terrified.
And I was thinking maybe we can do it with your song of the week, which is Duérmela.
Oh, okay. Then at least I don't have to translate.
No, you do.
Into English?
So your task is to translate her song, your song of the week that you chose. It's very short, so I don't think...
Wait, the whole song?
Yeah, it's really short. It has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, like...
I mean, it's mostly mira.
Yeah, exactly. So, and don't be stressed. Don't worry. We're not native Spanish speakers, so she'll do her best. So come on, you can.
Okay, I know these words.
Okay.
Do I read it in Spanish first?
Probably.
And then... Okay, I'll do like line by line.
Okay.
Que yo no soy así en serio. That I'm not like this, seriously.
Seriously.
Que se me da fatal cuando lo siento. Oh no.
If you don't know something, skip it. Wait, what
I
does
just
it say
don't know
again?
how to translate this. Que se me da fatal.
That's true. That's very difficult.
Like how sorry.
Yeah.
No.
When I feel it.
It makes
But
me
it's like
feel awful.
Yeah, something like that.
It makes me feel awful how much I feel it. Que yo no sé aguantar los nervios. Relatable. I don't know how to like deal with the nerves.
Mm-hmm.
De si me llamara.
What?
De si me llamara.
I was like, deme la mala. I was like, what?
So it goes with the other line. I don't know how to like deal with the nerves of if they'll call me.
Mm-hmm.
Ayer volví a escribir que volviera. Yesterday, I once again wrote... What the hell? Ayer volví a escribir que volviera. I once again wrote that they should come back.
Yeah.
Que no, de ninguna manera. That no, in no manner, in no way at all. Pero no sé fingir. But I don't know...
How to pretend?
I guess so.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know how to pretend.
Whee! Very well done. It is really difficult to translate.
Oh no, it continues.
Wait. Like this, but I mean, it would be too long, no?
No, I'm not going to continue. I have absolutely no urge to
No
continue.
desire.
It is very difficult because, like, also with all the que, like, que yo no soy así. Like, you would never say that in English even.
I'm not like that.
You would just say, I'm not like that. Que se me da fatal.
Yeah.
It makes me, I don't know.
I mean, that's honestly lately.
Or the volví a escribir, like, volver a hacer algo.
Yeah.
Like, they say a lot, and in English, you would never say it like that.
Yeah. No, lately I've realized, like, there's a lot of, like, words or phrases which now I know and sometimes may even use. But, like, in high school when I was learning, like, Spanish from books and, like, our teacher, I would have never known that. Nobody would have taught me that. And I think this song, like, she uses, like, not simple language, but, like, language they use to speak to people and to each other. Or if she was telling a story to her friend,
right,
like, what happened
right.
to...
It does feel like that.
Yeah, so it's very, like... Not very, but like a little bit of colloquial language, which is very hard to translate into another language. What I would say.
Yeah. Just like sentence structure. Amazing.
Thank you. You've done well. Next week it's gonna be me again, stressful. Probably. So yeah.
Oh yeah, I think so.
Right?
Yeah,
I think so. Okay.
All right.
This was it. And we'll see you in 2 days.
True. We'll be back in 48 hours.
Yeah, which you won't notice.
Yeah.
Well, we probably will talk about it a lot. So we will. Okay, thanks for listening. And if you could give us a review.
Once again.
Please. Because I think it would help us. I don't know. I think it does something with ratings and rankings.
Yeah.
So if you want to, if you like it, please. You can do it in Spotify, Apple Podcasts, I think, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that would be really nice of you. Thank you. And we'll hear you next week.
Yes.
No, you'll hear us next week.
Talk to you.
We never know how to do this.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening. We hope you enjoyed this episode.
If you want to get in touch, you can find all of our information in the description below.